to this quick video on appropriate statistical measures. In this lesson, you're looking at data sets and you're deciding which measures best describe the data, whether it's a measure of center, which could be either your mean or your median, sometimes your mode, often not the case, or how it varies your data. And then you're going to look at your MAD, or your mean absolute deviation, and your IQR. So what you're going to look for is an outlier. If you see that there is an outlier, which is like a number that just doesn't belong, if there is one of those, then the best measure of center you're going to find is the median. And the best measure of variability is the IQR. This is because those two things are not pulled or swayed by the outlier. When there is not an outlier, then you can use the average or the MAD. Now, when you think about it, if you had a bunch of grades and they were all in the A range, and then you had one C, that C grade pulls your average down. That C is an outlier, and it's pulling your average down. If we found your grades and we found the median, that would be a better indicator of how you're doing than the average. So let's go over to the left and take a look at example number 1 so you can better understand what I'm talking about. Here, the following are the basketball team's scores for one season. So we have a bunch of numbers, and they want us to find the mean and the median. So to find the mean, we're going to add them all up, and we're going to divide by how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 numbers. When I add all 8 of them up, I get 352. Divided by 8, my average is 44. When I put them in order, so let me do that so I can find my median. When you find the middle number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll be right here in between those two. So that means my median is 47. So those two are off by about 3 points there. So what's making one of them be a little bit different than the other? So when we look at it, we're looking for an outlier. And when I look, I see, well, look at this 20. That 20 is much further than all the other numbers that are in the 40s and even a few in the 50s there. So that 20 is probably an outlier that's pulling their average down to that 44. Whereas the median is not as affected by it and has a little bit higher because that 20 doesn't have as much of effect on the median. It's not really, it's counted, but it's not as affected when it's added together and then divided. So if I look at number 2 says, which measure of center and measure of variability best describe the team's scores? Well, since there is an outlier of 20, the median and the IQR are the best measures of center and variability. I hope that this short video has helped you to understand how to identify the best statistical measures and will help you to complete the rest of the worksheet. I hope to see you again in other videos. Bye for now.